He said, I'm a male rabbit and I'm not moving. I said, oh, I see. The buck stops here. He said, are you looking at me? It was Rabbit De Niro. Okay. So I looked around and there was a partridge, a grouse and a pheasant, all dressed as clowns. Game for a laugh. I'll tell you what makes my blood boil. Crematoriums. I've always been very lazy. I've got a smoke alarm that's got a snooze button. I was going to write my will today, but then I thought life's too short. And finally, I saw one of those motorbikes with the roof that goes right over the top. I couldn't believe it. I thought someone had hot-wired a photo booth. What has more letters than the alphabet? A post office. Dad, did you get a haircut? No, I got them all cut. Okay, we just had Christmas, so still relevant, I guess. What do you call a poor Santa Claus? Saint Nicholas. I got carded at a liquor store and my Blockbuster card accidentally fell out. The cashier said, never mind. Where do boats go when they're sick? To the boat dock. I don't trust those trees, they seem kind of shady. My wife is really mad at the fact that I have no sense of direction, so I packed up my stuff and write. Okay, one final one. How do you get a squirrel to like you? Acts like a nut. Oh dear. I entered a competition putting sails on boats. It was rigged. So I went down the local hotel and I said, can you put me up? And he nailed me to the ceiling. I've got a friend who puts plaster of Paris on my face, waits for it to dry, and then hits it with a chisel. He cracks me up. Ground sheets. They don't get much coverage. I've got a gun made out of a dozen pigs. It's a 12 bore. This bloke said to me, he said, why have you got manure on your head? I said, I've just had my hair done. What has lots of legs and a machine gun? A caterpillar. In 2002, the Queen had been on the throne for 50 years. Would you believe it? This bloke said to me, he said, are you a high flyer? I said, no, I tend to hand out flyers at waist level. I went to the haberdashery. I was looking for a cheap frill. I went down the local opticians. I said, have you got a contact lens solution? He said, what about laser surgery? This bloke said to me, he said, I'm the brother of River Phoenix. I said, you must be joking. Well, that doesn't, I mean, it's pronounced Joaquin, isn't it? So, it doesn't really work. Okay. I fell in love with a clumsy cleaner. She swept me off my feet. My horse, he doesn't go out much. He's a Shire horse. So I went to the hair salon and my dad's sister came in spinning round in circles. I thought, oh my giddy aunt. So I said to this bloke, I said, I'm going to Buckingham Palace to do Prince Philip's hair. He said, have you got a permit? I said, no, I've just got to take a bit off the back. I said, do you like my shirt? It's covered in pictures of cactuses. He said, cacti? I said, never mind the tie. What do you think of the shirt? So I was playing the piano in a bar and an elephant walked in. As I was playing, he started crying his eyes out. I said, "Do you recognise the tune?" He said, "No, I recognise the ivory." So I went to the optician's. He said, "How many fingers am I holding up?" I said, 17,251. He said, "Wrong, 3. But I tell you what, you can't half count quick." Okay. I did some cross-dressing this morning. I said, "Where are my flipping socks?" I saw these 2 citrus fruits having a fight. It was Satsuma wrestling. This woman said to me, she said, "I've got designs on you." Then she showed me a diagram of my spleen. I used to be a teddy boy. I had 2 furry ears either side of my head. The other day, someone burnt the bottom of my shoes. It was soul destroying. What time did the man go to the dentist? Come on, you know it. 2:30. Why didn't the skeleton climb the mountain? It didn't have the guts. What do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum? A meltdown. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? 10 tickles. I have a joke about chemistry, but I don't think it will get a reaction. What costs just 45 cents? 50 cents featuring Nickelback. Okay, finally. What does a bee use to brush its hair? Come on, you know this. What does a bee use to brush its hair? A honeycomb. Apparently, 1 in 13 Americans have worked for McDonald's. The other 12 got rejected. Wyoming sounds like Flash Gordon begging for mercy. Oh dear. I just got a text from heaven. That was a godsend. Did you know 30% of car accidents in Sweden involve a moose? I say, don't let them drive. I can see through your smile because you've got glass teeth. The other day, I couldn't decide whether to buy a packet of guitar strings or a box of eggs. It was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Oh dear. Why don't eggs tell jokes? They'd crack each other up. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. What do you call someone with no body and no nose? Nobody knows. Did you hear the rumour about butter? Well, I'm not going to spread it. I need a drum kit. Why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself? It was too tired. What did one hat say to the other? Stay here, I'm going on ahead. Oh God. Why did Billy get fired from the banana factory? He kept throwing away the bent ones. Dad, can you put my shoes on? No, I don't think they'll fit me.